What's up guys, I'm back with another Call of Duty video for you guys, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Call of Duty 2020. So this year's Call of Duty game, Call of Duty 2019, whether it be Modern Warfare 4 or Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, whatever it might be, hasn't even been fully announced yet or even really teased at all. And in this video we're going to be talking about next year's game, Call of Duty 2020, developed by Sledgehammer Games. So a couple things. We know that this year's game is going to be developed by Infinity Ward. Their last game was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, released in 2016. And each developer is on a 3-year dev cycle. So in 2018 it was Treyarch with Black Ops 4, in 2019 it is Infinity Ward with Modern Warfare 4 or whatever, and in 2020 it is Sledgehammer Games, and in 2021 it will be Treyarch again. So next year's Call of Duty game in 2020, it has been leaked that that game will be a boots on the ground game set in either Vietnam or the Pacific Front. So how cool is that? These leaks come from Gaming Intel and by Matthew Harris. I know he's kind of like a shady guy, and he has had some leaks in the past that have turned out to be like totally not accurate at all and just totally false. But they say that they have a source inside Sledgehammer Games that has leaked them early information about the game and has confirmed that it's going to be set in either Vietnam or on the Pacific Front. I find that kind of vague that it's either or, like why can it not be both, or why doesn't he just like pick one? And they say that after their source has revealed this to them, that their source became disconnected from the project, but typically these things will just continue to happen, and even though it's potentially leaked that it'll be Vietnam or the Pacific Front, they're still going to continue to create the game. And I feel like this is a perfect move for Sledgehammer Games. Sledgehammer previously have worked on Modern Warfare 3, Advanced Warfare, and most recently World War II. And I would say that the most success that Sledgehammer Games has had with their Call of Duty games in the eyes of the community would be for World War II. World War II, for a lot of the community, including myself, was more popular than Advanced Warfare because it was back to boots on the ground to Call of Duty's roots with World War II and with just boots on the ground combat. None of this jump packs, jet packs, all this different stuff. It was just back to Call of Duty's roots. It still had flaws though, and here's hoping that Sledgehammer Games can relinquish all of that in 2020. But I do think that a Pacific Front or Vietnam game would be the most likely scenario for Sledgehammer Games to do now. They're obviously not going to do an Advanced Warfare 2. It's pretty much confirmed at this point that we're not ever going to have any more advanced movement games. The community has been very vocal about that, specifically with Infinite Warfare. Infinite Warfare was basically the breaking point for Call of Duty, and the community was just like, no, we don't want this anymore. We don't want futuristic games. We want back to the old Call of Duty games. And so Advanced Warfare is basically off the table. Modern Warfare is something that Infinity Ward does. So the only real thing Sledgehammer Games can do is either a brand new IP. They can either do basically in the past or in the present or like near future. And I think that Sledgehammer Games did an excellent job with World War II. And so a Pacific Front or Vietnam game would be perfect as well. It's also interesting that in World War II, we didn't have anything to do with the Pacific Front. It was only the European front. It was a little disappointing to see that World War II was a huge war, and the Pacific Front was huge as well, but in World War II they didn't acknowledge it in the slightest. So I think this would be a good move for them to actually put out another game that will solely focus on the Pacific Front or Vietnam. Black Ops 1 was set in the Cold War in the Vietnam era, and I feel like Black Ops 1 nailed Vietnam, but I would love to be able to see them do that again, and this time on these next generation consoles. And I'm not even just talking about Xbox One and PS4, I'm talking about the brand new Xbox Anaconda and the PlayStation 5 that should be released in 2020. I would love to be able to see Sledgehammer create a game that could run it like easily 4K, 60 frames per second, lots of really high detail and stuff, and have it be set in Vietnam or the Pacific Front. That'd be really cool. And the last thing for this video is that some of you guys may already know that Sledgehammer Games has already attempted making a Vietnam era game set in the Call of Duty franchise. Their Call of Duty game was going to be a Vietnam based Call of Duty game, which was going to be a third-person shooter, but they were removed from the project after they were tasked to assist Infinity Ward with the development of Modern Warfare 3 after half of Infinity Ward left to go form Respawn. So Sledgehammer Games already has little bits of experience with working with a Vietnam era game, and I think it'd be excellent for them to go back to that and for Sledgehammer Games to solely kind of focus on old school, boots on the ground, old-fashioned, classic Call of Duty games. So if Sledgehammer works on games like World War II and a Vietnam era game, if Infinity Ward works on modern games such as like the Modern Warfare series this year, if they come out with Modern Warfare 4 and Modern Warfare 2 remastered, and Treyarch can continue to do Black Ops games in the future and in the near future. So just imagine that. Whenever you want to play one of these old school classic Call of Duty games, boots on the ground, you know, every 3 years you get a new one from Sledgehammer Games, whether it be another World War II one, maybe potentially a World War I Call of Duty game, Vietnam, Cold War, all this cool stuff. And then the next year you get a game by Treyarch, which is another game set in the Black Ops franchise, which is in like the near future, or a Black Ops 2 remastered. And then the year after that you get an Infinity Ward game that includes Modern Warfare 2 remastered and is Modern Warfare 4 and another modern game. Like, how awesome would that be? I think that every studio needs to kind of establish their own time frame, and I think this is perfect. Sledgehammer can do these old school games, Infinity Ward can do the modern ones, and Treyarch can do the future ones. It's already kind of shown that this is what's working out the best, is that Sledgehammer Games didn't do too hot with Advanced Warfare with their futuristic game, Infinity Ward did even worse in their futuristic game, Infinite Warfare, and Treyarch has been the only one to kind of show that they can at least somewhat handle a futuristic Call of Duty game with Black Ops 2, 3, and 4. So what do you guys think of this? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you guys think? I think this would be really exciting to be able to play a Call of Duty game set on the Pacific Front in Vietnam. It's been all the way back since Black Ops 1 was the last time we had this, back in 2010, so it's almost been a decade. And I mean, this would be perfect. 2020 would be a full 10-year anniversary since the release of Black Ops 1, and a Vietnam era game would serve perfectly. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this. I'm really excited about this. I hope this comes out. I hope this turns out to be true. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.